My last guest this evening had a holiday romance with Michaella and McCollum Connolly in Ibiza just before she disappeared. In fact, the pair were due to meet up again this month. Obviously, that never happened. So this week, Michaella changed her plea to guilty. We still don't know what the outcome of that's going to be. But here, to talk about the kind of person he found her to be and the scene in Ibiza and why he thinks she's innocent, please welcome Brad Houston. Hi, Brad. How you doing? Brad, can I ask you first, you have very deliberately not really spoken about this up to now. Why have you decided now to speak out?
Originally, I was in quite a lot of shock about everything. Didn't know what was happening. There was loads of stuff in the papers. Didn't know what was real, what wasn't. But now things have settled in. I think everyone knows what's happening, and I'm not really here to change. Nothing I can do can change what's happening with the court case over in Peru, but perhaps change the public's view on Michaella, because there's not been a lot of support from the Irish, the English, in all the papers, on the websites. There's where you can log in with Facebook and comment. It's just full of not very nice comments. Death sentence, life sentence, stuff like this. And she's a 20-year-old girl. She's like anyone's a normal kind of daughter of someone. She's just an average girl. She's not a drug dealer. You know?
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get to that maybe. Now, just to give people an idea about you, because obviously a lot of the people who've popped up in this have been one-eyed gangster drug dealers and all kinds of stuff. You're like a fairly normal guy. 9-to-5 job as a web developer.
I'm a web developer by day, full time, and in evenings and on weekends I produce music and DJ. So.
Okay, and like you weren't out in Ibiza for the summer. You don't live out there, and you go out every year with your mates. For
I go out with my friends. Yeah, it's what we do every year. It's basically go out and pick up all the new music and go and see all the DJs we like, because the lineups are brilliant out there, and every night of the week there's someone good to see.
Okay, how did you meet Michaella?
I met Michaella. We were in the day. It must have been 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So went and have a couple of drinks with my friends in a bar next to the hotel. And Michaella was there on her own, reading a book, laying down.
What book was she reading?
Do you know what? I've never read a book in my life.
Really?
Okay. I haven't got a clue.
All right.
And my friend, who's a bit more ballsy than me, went and talked to her, and he pulled out the chat line and got a lighter, which was bad.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I kind of stole her away from him after a few hours.
Good man.
Yeah.
And now, look, I mean, you meet people on holidays. You're not claiming to have been the love of her life, friend. You meet people on holidays. You could score them a couple of times over the week. You actually became like.
I was there for a week, and we spent 5 days together, and I really did fob off my mates to spend time with her, which is
okay. So you feel you got to know her and the person as she was there, and then you got to know her quite well.
Yeah. I mean, we got on the sauce and we drank quite a lot and went to clubs and we went and done some really good stuff. But so when you're in, we actually spent quite a lot of time in an Irish bar in Ibiza, and we had some really deep conversations and stuff. So we did really connect. We connected really well out there. And I think it's just like the whole vibe out there it's nice. It's good out there. So
yeah, so people are kind of open.
Yeah, it's not like when you go at home. It's really everyone just talks to each other out there.
Because, like, to be honest, a lot of the way the kind of scene that she might have been operating in was portrayed a little bit kind of maybe a little bit heavy and a little bit kind of seedy, and that, you know, these girls like Michaella who go out there to work for the summer, that they live in these crappy kind of digs, and they do this kind of bar work. Like, so how was she fitting into the scene out there?
She was when I first met her. When I met her, it was like 5 days. I mean. It feels a little longer than that, but it was only 5 days I was there with her. She was working at a club called Ushuaia, which is like a premium bar in Ibiza. It's top, it's big. It's not like a grungy, small back alley bar. It's it's big money there. Like to get even the entrance is 60, 70 euros or something like that. So she wasn't in like any grungy bars or anything like that. She was in a good bar. I don't know how the dances and everything are perceived out there, because she was dancing there as well. She was dancing, but I've never really taken notice of that, to be fair. I don't know how to answer that.
Okay, and so you say that you sorry, here please. You say that you drank quite a bit and stuff. Did you take drugs at all? Like, nobody's going to judge you here now. Did you take drugs anyway?
I'm going to be totally honest with you. There's always temptation when you drink with your friends, and you get off the drugs all the time. And the more you drink, the more when someone comes off his drugs, you look at each other and you think, "Should we do this?" But when it comes down to it, none of us go ahead with it.
And did you see her taking drugs?
No, I was actually protecting her from it. Like when we got offered drugs, it's always good for a man to say to another man, "No, we're good, thanks." She never let the woman do it, so I never really gave her a chance to speak on it.
Okay, and you never got any sense that she was on drugs or anything.
No.
Did she ever kind of in all these conversations you had and everything? Did you ever get any hint like that she might have been involved in something a bit over her head, or that there might have been any stuff going on there?
If I thought she was in hanging around or involved with dangerous people or anything like that, I don't think I would have spent any time with her. I'm out there to have a holiday. I've got a career in that here. I've got I've got a son as well. So I wouldn't want anything that can get me in trouble or anything like that. So I wouldn't have got myself in that situation if I thought that. If I thought of her, I wouldn't have been spending so much time with her.
Fair enough. Did you ever meet Melissa?
No, this is another thing. When I was out there, she was like, I'm going to meet my friends, I'm not going to ring any names off. But the name Melissa didn't come up. And when I read the report and it came on the news, I was with a friend at the time, and they said she was out in Peru with Melissa. And I went, I don't know who Melissa is. I'm sure if she was going to go out to Peru, she would have taken one of the friends which she was talking to when I was there, like a close friend. But I said, I'm pretty sure Melissa, I'd never heard of this girl. Okay. And then it came out like a week later in the paper that Melissa they might not have known each other. So I kind of clicked on that before it was even everyone else knew about it. So
okay, can I ask you something else? There were reports, obviously, from people who seem to know her out there and everything, that she was in some kind of financial mess and she had debts. And did you get any sense of financial difficulties?
We did actually talk about finances, because I was like being a gent and that, saying like, how are your finances out here, like a girl out here on her own and stuff like that. Yeah. And she really did pride herself on like her Irish, being a strong Irish independent woman, and she always wanted to chip in for the drink. If I was going to get around it, she always wanted to pay her own way. And she did state to me that she saved up for accommodation before she came out. So accommodation was paid for the season, and anything she earned was her spends. So there didn't seem to be any financial situation there.
So, and apart from all of those reasons that would kind of lead you to believe that she is actually innocent and that her story is true, you think she's innocent as well because of the way that it kind of spun out, like that the disappearing and all that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I've come to a theory. Like, since it's happened, I've been on the papers or like on all the media sites every day, just trying to keep up with stuff, and everything's different. But what I figured out is that if she was going to go and do a big £1.5 million drug deal or be a mule for this, the last thing you'd do is get an international search for a missing person while she's doing that. So surely she would have set a Facebook status or contacted her parents saying, maybe I'm getting no signal or something on her phone. So they think, okay, she's absolutely fine.
Okay, she would have had a cover story.
She would have had a cover story, yeah. And there's no cover story there. She just out of nowhere, she's just gone disappeared. Like, there's the UK looking for her. In Ireland, it's an international search for this missing girl in Ibiza, and she's doing a drug deal. The last thing she wants is a high-profile case looking for her while she's doing a drug deal. That just doesn't work for me.
That makes sense. Yeah. So you were supposed to meet up this one. She was going to London for a wedding.
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it on Facebook about meeting up.
Would you like to see her again?
I would. Yeah, definitely.
Have you tried to be in touch, or have you been in touch?
I haven't yet. It's everything's a bit in the air. Everything's in the air at the moment. It's quite tough, and it's also quite hard to get contacts in Peru. I've got one contact in Peru through the label I'm signed on, but he doesn't really want to get involved with it because the prisons out there are quite strict, and you can't just go to a prison, hand a note over or hand a bag of everything over. You've got to get booked in and stuff like that. So
Okay. Look, you seem like a straight up kind of guy. Everything you told me tonight, that's all true. You never, no drugs, never saw her taking drugs or anything. You're telling me the God honest truth now.
Telling you the truth, yeah.
Okay, well listen, that's all. It's food for thought.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably no harm that you came out and said that. It might get people to think a bit differently about her. Thanks a million.
I hope so, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Houston. Alright, time now to give away 10 grand. Do I have Pauline Q?